Hey everyone, it's Friday, so that means it's time for another Q&A. Now there weren't any Anthem questions this week, so for this time it's all Mass Effect and one personal question. If you want a chance for your question to appear on next week's episode, the rules are simple. Just title your comment Q&A and ask either a question about Mass Effect or Anthem. Also just wanted to say, I'll be releasing a small housekeeping video tomorrow that'll include a couple of video projects I'm currently working on, so make sure to check that one out. With that said, let's get into our first question. So our first question comes from Rise Morse, who says, Q&A. Do you think that if Andromeda was exactly the same, but instead of Ryder it was Shepard? Do you think the game would have been better received, just because it's Shepard? Well, while Shepard is loved, I actually think the game would have been received much worse had it been Shepard. The game was criticized pretty heavily on Ryder, but not really because of his character, but because of how poor the dialogue was at times. If the face and voice was changed to Shepard, that still wouldn't have changed how it was written. So that means we would have been left with a very poorly written and out of character Shepard. I think that would have only damaged the brand further and made people more angry. Alright, next up we have It's Mavga, who says, Q&A. Do you think there'll be a Mass Effect sequel one day? Greetings from Germany. Well, greetings to you as well from the US. Cologne, Germany was gorgeous, and I love the castles in your country as well. Okay, now for the rest of your question regarding the Mass Effect Andromeda sequel. Now, I don't think there will be a sequel. I think that is basically a fact now that EA doesn't ever want to be involved with the Andromeda name again. After the complete abandonment of the game and the disassembly of the studio, I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed. I think the next Mass Effect will either be another soft reboot or one that involves the Milky Way galaxy. Even with Drew and Casey back, I just can't see them going back to Andromeda. I feel that name has been tarnished too much. Next up we have Supercritic Man, who says, Q&A. If Mass Effect were to go on a Star Trek route in the future, which new galaxy would you hope would be in the game? Great videos as always. Well, thank you, Supercritic Man. I'm glad you like the videos. If Mass Effect were to take on a Star Trek route and go to a new galaxy, I'd probably pick NGC 6744. Yeah, they might need to change that name if they use it, but this is the galaxy that is most like the Milky Way. In fact, it is also known as our twin galaxy. The main difference between NGC 6744 and the Milky Way is the size difference between the two galaxies. While our galaxy is roughly 100,000 light years across, our twin galaxy extends to almost twice that diameter. I think that would mean we could expect bioware to create some familiar, but different species and environments should they choose to explore NGC 6744. Yeah, that name would definitely need to be changed. Okay, moving on from that, we have a bit of a longer question that comes from Fusion Gamer, who says, question, if they were to make a sequel to Andromeda, do you want the game to focus on a new protagonist and completely start fresh, or stick with Ryder? If they do start with a new protagonist, what I think the story will be is that you, the protagonist, wakes up from cryo 1 year later after the first game. As wakes up, he or she can't remember anything from their past, like having amnesia, as well as the Nexus having lost contact with Ryder. So now they'll have to scramble a search and rescue team to find Ryder through the Andromeda galaxy, and the protagonist is going to lead the team. As the protagonist gets deeper and deeper into Andromeda, he or she will learn that the mission might not be so simple, as well as encounter many new alien races, hopefully at least 6 new races. Sentient races. This will also give bioware a chance to incorporate some RPG elements in the game, like players could choose their character's backstory, and the character in the game doesn't know. In order to unlock and use some certain abilities, you'll have to go to a trainer to unlock. Like for example, if you want cluster grenades, you'll have to go to an N7 trainer that specializes in the N7 destroyer specialization. And yes, I do think the Alliance could spare like one trainer from each N7 specialization to Andromeda in order to pass on the N7 tradition. Well, Fusion Gamer, I still stand firmly behind my belief that Mass Effect Andromeda is indeed the last time we will see the Andromeda galaxy in Mass Effect. But with that said, I do like some of the ideas that you proposed. I agree that I, along with many fans, have all wanted the ability and chance to play through the single-player campaign as a different race, as well as return to some of those more RPG-like elements that the first game had. I would love to pick a Krogan or Turian in a Mass Effect game, as well as choose a background and have the beginning of the game play very differently depending on the species and background of the character you create. So I love a lot of the concept you proposed in your comment, but like I said, I'm pretty sure at this point Andromeda is gone. Okay, so for our last question, we have a more personal question that comes from Danios, who says, Q&A, what are some of your favorite video game series? Besides the obvious Mass Effect, of course. Well, as you can tell from my gamer tag, I obviously very much love the Halo games. Some of my favorite moments from all of gaming have come from playing Halo with my friends. But a large part of that is because of split screen. Split screen in Halo is like macaroni and cheese. They feel made for each other. Besides Halo, I also really love the Fallout games. Fallout 3 still remains as one of my top 5 games of all time, easily. I can't wait till I do a video on that game. The music, the gameplay, the world, That game is just fantastic in almost every aspect. And it was one of the first games that I got obsessed about it enough that I went and looked up almost every YouTube video I possibly could. I think I watched the E3 demo of that game at least 7 times. Okay, well that ends this week's episode of Q&A. I hope you guys liked the video, and check back tomorrow for a video on some cool projects I'm working on. With that said, leave your questions in the comments below for the next Q&A, and I'll see you guys on the next Shepard gaming video. Keyless Ally.
He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet. Blow Rockin' Robin, 'cause we really gonna rock tonight. Every little swallow, every chickadee, every little